Alright, let's get started with what we are going to be doing today out of the, I think, 3 streams we've got going. And as always with Thursdays, we start with the OFCRA weekly public PvP operation. This is going to be about an 85-person operation. Let me actually quickly check the roster here, make sure it didn't change. Yep, we're still at about 85 for this op, so that is properly reflected on the title. And everything appears to be good. Now, we are going to be on a 5-minute delay, so once again, chat, I apologize for that, but that is how the community wants to be run. 1 second. So I've gotten in the habit of turning on TFAR so we can listen into their local comms, even though it takes TFAR, TeamSpeak, a hot second to catch everyone up, so you get to hear everybody in the channel as they transfer in, so they're free to say whatever it is on their mind as they connect in here. But regardless, we have an interesting operation for today. We actually have 2 different groups of player spawns here, and a lot of objectives on the map. The full breakdown is in the mission command. Just note that the website doesn't fully go in the URLs. You gotta copy that extra stuff on the side. But with this 80-plus person operation, it's actually more so 85-ish, we have 2 different factions supported by 2 different PMCs. The PMCs, I believe, spawn in a randomized area for both sites, and actually, no, let me roll that back. The OFCRA PMC group spawns in a randomized area. The Blue 4 PMC group spawns defending an embassy. But a general point breakdown for how this mission goes is the embassy is a neutral objective. Whoever controls this by the end of the 2-hour operation will get 5 points. And then Blue 4 gets batches of 2 points for capturing VIPs in these question-marked areas. So here is one, for example. They're unmarked on my map, though, so I'm not going to be able to track them. We're just going to have to follow the player base over to see which VIPs they're able to find and take. But OPT4 has to deliver them in one location, and Blue 4 has to deliver them in a different location. Note the extraction areas. So Blue 4 will have to defend their own extraction area from hostile forces, and Red 4 will have to also defend their defense area from hostile forces, so VIPs can't be stolen from locations. But the operation itself appears to be Blue 4 are British forces with a British-based PMC. Let's go ahead and have a look at these forces right here. It appears that way, a British-based gear on these guys as well. And OPT4 appears to be a local, more than likely the defensive force of Lingor, which appears to also be Blue 4 base with SIG 550 models, if my mind serves me correctly, but you hear them already making plans, going through the inventories here. So definitely a, you know, a Green 4 style faction, not really taking anything from an OPT4 basis, but they got their own weaponry and gear here. So that's really nice to see. And their PMC, I'm willing to bet, is going to be something similar, if not something that is also completely on the neutral end. Ooh. Black helmets, again, the SIGs. Looks like a good mix here. And they have an AR-2 darter drone. Interesting. Does the Blue 4 PMC group have one? No, they do not. So OPT4 is going to be able to get an edge on recon and data gathering. We'll see how they decide to utilize that here. But otherwise, all of these objectives here, again, have multiple VIPs. The VIPs have to be delivered to certain locations, whether it be members of the embassy, members of IDAP, members of, you know, just random civilians. There is about 15 points for either side up for grabs, based on, you know, who they're able to bring back to what positions. And if the VIPs die, then no one is able to score those points. So 15 points in that, and then 5 points in controlling the embassy, and then the supremacy bonus, which you see in OFC operations every time, is if they're able to, this time it is whittle down the enemy force to 2 or less people. The force that whittled down the opposing force gets another 2 points. So that would be 22 points up for grabs for either side to take. So the scoring on this is going to get very interesting, but I'm also going to be really curious to see how both ground commanders, it is Hippie, who we see a lot, I believe, in FNF, versus, I'm not even going to try to pronounce, screw it, Kubakuix. Kubakuix. Something like that. I'm butchering it hardcore, but you got to remember, OFCRA is a multinational community. We've got Czechs, we've got Englishmen, we've got French, and everything in between in this place. And it's really, really nice to watch all of these different groups come together. Because when you scroll in, you can hear the different languages. 5 minutes till the start. Let's look at Op4 and then Blue 4. Again, we've got, you know, SIG 556 based weaponry, definitely some varied optics here. But it looks like for the most part, ×1 magnifiers, holographics, and the marksman gets a long-range scope. I am seeing some ARCOs on some of these scopes as well, but it might be reserved for higher ranking units. But it sounds like they're doing their best to make a plan here. We have the Humvees with PKMs on top. Interesting choice there. Some unarmed Humvees, and then Huey, UH-1, with 240 Bravos on either side, which is supposed to represent the, you know, quote-unquote M60s. It's just a 100-round 7.62 gun on either side, but no pylons. So, a pretty good faction up there, to say the least. Looking at Blue 4, though, Blue 4 has another... It's a bigger chopper. I forget the exact designation of this. I think it's a Merlin. But it has 3 guns off the side, which appear to be mini-me's, or whatever the British forces use. It might be FN Halos, but I forget the exact number designation there, but they're also 100 round. Is that a 1? That might be a 2, the curve of a 2 right there, so that might be a 200 round belt. But it sounds like they're having fun. Meanwhile, we're seeing L1A1s with another type of weapon. I again forget that designation, but it's British based, so most of them are going to be rocking 5.56. We're seeing some magnified optics on some guys as well. And it looks like they're bringing medical over to that helicopter. And we also have the British transport cars, which again I forget the damn designation on. But that 50 cal up top is going to pack a lot more of a punch than the PKM Humvees, 50 cal compared to 7.62. Plus, these Jeeps appear to also have a, I think it's a GPMG actually, general purpose machine gun. That's it. With another 200 round box right here. So 2 guns firing, 1 facing forward, 1 that's able to swivel around. The British definitely get an advantage in their transport, just they only get 3. Thought I saw that truck was armed. It is not. Whereas the Op4 Lingorian Force, they get 5, but it's limited.
Go back to your position.
No. So we're seeing assets favor the Op4 forces, definitely. And my OBS screen is freaking the heck out. Give me 1 moment. I will try to fix it. There we go. Just tab it in and out. And it still wants to be interesting. Give me 1 moment. Just going to resize it. There we go. Estimated VIP deaths? I don't know the exact count of the VIPs. There's at least 15. There, yeah, could potentially be 15. So, I mean, there's 3 in there, possible civilian locations here. Let's actually do a quick head count of how many VIPs are in this AO. But as we do that, call me Blood for a Head. Thanks for the 4-month resub, my man. I hope you keep enjoying the operations, and I hope you get a kick out of this one. But otherwise, we have 2 IDAP VIPs right there. We have a civilian VIP here. Do we have another one here? I don't see one.
Send in Goat Team 6 now.
Seems like every time I log on I add another month. Looking forward to the PvP today.
So we got 3 so far. I don't see one over here. We got 1 minute remaining. Is he in this house? No. Let's go over here. Construction site. I bet you there is going to be a guaranteed VIP in here somewhere. So there's 2 VIPs right there, so that's 5 total. Looking at the possible locations, it means it's not a guarantee. So we just have to kind of look around and try to find them. Make sure they're not hiding in a building or something. Which would make sense, you know, if everyone's trying to hide from both of these militaristic factions trying to find them. Alright, 6. I assume he's not going to be here because he's right there. And the mission has started. I just want to get this head count here on the VIPs. But all these are the same. So there's 7 VIPs up for grabs. So probably 2. More or less. But we'll have to see how things go. So again, we've got 6 guys on the OFCRA PMC. We've got 5... Actually, no, that's 8, because it's 3 plus 1, you know, driver. So 8 versus 5 here, but the OFCRA PMC guys have a darter drone, which gives OFCRA a considerable recon advantage. But I would argue OFCRA has the better maneuverable helicopter, but Blue 4 have the better cars with 50 cal capability. So there's a lot that can go down here. We're already seeing these vehicles deploy. Blue 4 is already rushing over to try to find the embassy. They're going to probably get into first contact here to fight the OFCRA PMC group. That, or they might be setting up a counter attack right here to ambush OFCRA after they find the embassy accountant and pull him back. Otherwise, Blue 4 already deploying to potentially go up and hit these VIP sites or go capture the British embassy or watch the extraction area, as we're seeing groups for Blue 4 drive around. Meanwhile, OFCRA is going for the 2 VIPs at the IDAP camp here, and we're seeing a large amount of forces drive around as we appear to have command elements doing recon here. Looking around to see where Blue 4 is maneuvering. So as I hear people start to die, I will go ahead and mute my mic, because once people die, they get moved to the spectator channel that I'm in, but we can hear them as if they're right next to us, and nothing is more interesting while you're streaming. You hear someone start uttering swears after he died. And I would hate for us to have that. But otherwise, Blue 4 is doing a lay-low insert from a helicopter. All right, and they're going to try to find the journalist location, move up to the construction site. This is going to give them a little bit of time to try to find the journalist here. We do have a random civilian right here as well. I'm not sure if he counts for points here, but that would make 8 VIPs total. I don't know if they'll take them or not.
No.
11 months already.
That reminds me, I almost forgot. Remus says, thanks for the 40-month resub. I really do appreciate, my man. And Merciless Doug, thank you so much for the 11-month resub. I hope you both keep enjoying the operations. I hope you're staying safe among COVID-19, and I hope you get a kick out of this PvP stream. Alright, so OFCRA are getting one of the civilian VIPs here. I would assume that that helicopter just extracted both of the IDAP civilians. Yep. IDAP workers, excuse me. So OFCRA has control of 3 civies right now. They're probably going to get control of the 4th because the embassy GAR account, I'm assuming, is somewhere over there. So out of the potential 8, it's about half and half, because of, you know, the 4 being in that pocket. So it's really going to be up to who is able to defend their civilians from either recapture or getting killed off. Because that do be a strategy either side could do, is if the civilians are out in the open, they could just snipe them and then work on defending their own. Now, of course, the civilians don't have to be moved to the extraction area immediately. They can be hidden somewhere. They only have to be brought there at the end of the 2 hours that this round will take. But the question then becomes, can the defending, whoever is trying to turn in the civilians, will they have enough time and manpower to go over to where they cache the civilians to bring them back. And that's why maintaining these 2 helicopters for most of the game is going to be very, very important. Because right here we see OPFOR, I guess, I bet you right now they're taking the IDAP civilians out. They're going to stash them in here till the end of the timer to guarantee those 2 points for those civilians. But we have the Blue 4 helicopter flying high and around. Potentially, they might see the dust kicking up on that helicopter to try to figure out where they're getting put. Otherwise, I think they're also buzzing OPFOR spawn to assess who's still here to try to get some recon information. But OPFOR, with that darter drone, is going to be able to keep that up and utilize it. But I don't see it on my roster yet, so I don't think they've deployed it. Regardless, Blue 4 is setting up bottlenecks all around the embassy site to deny OPFOR the ability to come in here. As we're seeing OPFOR groups come into this area, they might get to the construction site first and be able to take these 2 VIPs. Alright. The issue will then become, can they hold it? Because OPFOR just flipped their Vic. I don't know if they have a script to unflip it. Gonzo's going to have to get out for that to be utilized. I think they do have it.
No, get close. You're alright?
See, that's why you got to step away from the vehicle. Zeum is still alive. It doesn't appear to be hurt. I don't see any blood on the ground, but I'm surprised to get pancaked right there. Alrighty, but otherwise more OPFOR reinforcements coming in. I hope they are more careful about driving. We have the OPFOR helicopter coming back into the AO. Let's see if we can find where these VIPs went. I am willing to bet they are stashed somewhere in one of these buildings, just away from sight. But again, they're not marked on my map, so I have no idea. But we know they took them out and brought them in here. There's no way that Blue 4 is going to know that the 2 IDAP guys are there. Just the question becomes, will OPFOR have the time in the final parts of this operation to go and deliver those VIPs? It's a risk, because you don't know what may or may not get shot down, or may or may not be bottlenecked by the turn-in sites at the end of the mission. So OPFOR is doing the smart thing and taking the direct route to their turn-in spot, avoiding a potential Blue 4 ambush. That was very smart of them. Blue 4, they had eyes on the cars moving down, but they have no idea where those cars went. So they haven't realized that the OPFOR forces either spotted the ambush or they were smart enough not to go down that route. Meanwhile, we have some magnified optics on these 50 cals. I didn't even realize they had ACOGs, and they are firing 2 clicks away, and they're actually getting some hits here. So OPFOR's remounted into some of these vehicles here, and they're trying to stay low from that 50 cal. And you're seeing this vehicle right here trying to fire up at that helicopter, but it's going to be a bit too far. So I'm going to go ahead, tab out real quick, and mute myself, because I have a feeling we're going to start having people die very, very soon. And you're having some long-range shot from that helicopter come down. And the 50 cal fire has ceased because I think it's just out of range. 2 clicks of an engagement range with a 50 cal is very extreme. But it got a few of them wounded, which is a good call right there. So we're seeing a barrage come down here. Looks like, yep, Lingor Army HQ is right about this faction. I think the chopper's full from the looks of things, so we might see one of them get into a different vehicle instead. Now, usually when we see an empty marker like this, it means someone inside is dead, but I think it's just that guy moving up and firing. So we're seeing some more barraging shots from that helicopter. They're landing close, and this helicopter's now waving off. Alright, so we do have 2 OPFOR cars here. They've taken that one civilian. He's actually loaded in the back of that truck right there. They got 2 civvies, actually. And hopefully they can get the wounded guy up from that helicopter. Frisco, how do I, for Zeus Ops, remote control an NPC immediately? Look up a mod called Arma Zeus Cache. That will be your answer. Otherwise, OPFOR have sent forces around. They are going to capture the guys at the construction site. They were moved. I think this group already came in and cable tied them, so now these guys are going to get loaded up in this, Why am I blanking on the name? The Humvee. I wanted to say Hemet, but Hemet's the lawn truck, and they're loaded up, and now OPFOR either is going to stash them away or try to deliver them. One worrisome issue here is this car is probably going to run into this group, and Blue 4 is going to hear that vehicle coming. So does Blue 4 have any AT ready? They do with Mr. Cool, but he's not going to have a shot from this angle. Oh, I stand corrected. He actually... Well, OPFOR picked the perfect place to stop. I don't know if that... Nope, it did hit it. You're seeing some damage on the Humvee here. The front right wheel's busted. Now you got Nubass firing over. Now, these early skirmishes, I've learned from watching a lot of OFCRA, they don't mean anything if a group wins or loses, because usually it's by mid-game you can tell by those skirmishes on which side wins, but an early win in this skirmish could mean anything. It's just the first taste of PvP. If OPFOR loses all their guys, I mean, they still have plenty more to utilize here. They might be more cautious and turn it around. Or it could just give Blue 4 an early on advantage that they'll never let go of. I've seen both sides happen. The last one, where OPFOR just gained small advantages and was able to prevent Blue 4 from pushing down in Cyber Island last week, that was an example of, you know, they won the first fight and they kept winning. But the first Cyber Island, from 2 months ago, Blue 4 was able to blow up an entire squad of OPFOR, but they weren't able to keep the advantage going. They kept their unit spread thin, and then OPFOR was still able to overwhelm them. So it could go either way. I do like, though, we've got Goatland here with a magnified optic trying to pick people off. We have had a few guys die in the helicopter, though. I guess they bled out. Blue 4 hasn't taken any KIA yet. OPFOR on 2 KIA, but they do have a slight numbers advantage. You also have Zyam, who died. I guess that Arma finally picked up that he got flattened by that Humvee. Foxhound also just went down next to him. So 4 KIA on OPFOR. No for Blue 4 yet, but there is a number advantage on OPFOR by at least, I want to say 4 or 5. Because you can, you get a full roster here, and you scroll up, you still get, you know, a good chunk right here, whereas if you scroll up for Blue 4, the only thing extra is Hotel. So if OPFOR can get rid of the Blue 4 number advantage, they should be golden. But so far, Blue 4, they got their licks in, and it looks like they're pulling back. That's the smart thing to do here, because OPFOR has a lot of reinforcements coming in. Get those hits in and pull out. Especially going in, they would know that OPFOR has that number advantage. Now, we are seeing Blue 4 trying to remount back here and set up a second defense line to fire, but that might not be the best call, because I don't think Blue 4 knows that OPFOR has sent a lot of QRF here, and we also have the helicopters pursuing each other. Wow, I was expecting the Huey to try to chase down the Merlin here, but it's actually the Merlin that's trying to chase the Huey down. It's always fun in an operation, a PvP op specifically, to see 2 helicopters go at it like this. Now, the really worrisome part here, though, is... Nope, alright, they were able to get on ground. If that Lima squad was still in that Huey, that would increase the likelihood of the Merlin getting some easy hits on that Huey, but Blue 4 also do have a few ground gun positions that Huey has to be careful for, because this 50 cal is getting some really nasty hits. It's just short. No, it has caught fire! Oh, that could not have been more perfect from Blue 4. The Hueys was flying right into that 50 cal, and that 50 cal tore up that Huey. You gotta remember, those 50 cals, they've got magnified optics on them, so they're gonna be a lot more accurate. And OPFOR just lost their helicopters, so now it begs the question, how is OPFOR going to extract those 2 IDAP VIPs from this compound? They're going to have to do it by ground now, but with Blue 4 having air support, that's going to be very difficult for Op4 to do. So, Blue 4 still on no casualties yet, but Op4 just took another 4 from that helicopter. Worst could potentially wake back up, but it's very unlikely. And now you have the Merlin maintaining an orbital here to try to help this Blue 4 group from this large Op4 wave. So right now, advantage has definitely gone to Blue 4 because they have their air support still intact. I'm not gonna lie though, those magnified 50 cal optics are a considerable advantage for Blue 4. And it would have been really hard for Op4 to overcome that. But we could see an attack by Cali S and Barrows here to try to even the score. But Cali caught out of position by Roid Camper here. Some of these names you're going to recognize from FNF as well, especially Roid Camper. You got this Ezio guy. I was going to say Oscar guy, but it's Ezio. He's firing up at that helicopter, but to minimal effect. Because at that range, it's really hard to get a leading shot on it. Otherwise, Violent, thanks so much for the tier 1 sub, my man. I hope you keep enjoying the operations, and I hope you're getting a kick out of this PvP stream. So, interesting enough, Blue 4 is moving 4 VIPs as they are trying to keep Op4 out. Op4 has 2 construction worker VIPs, probably in an unarmed Humvee, which they left dismounted back here. Nope. We saw them take the 2 construction worker employees, so there might be even more than 8 VIPs at play here, probably up to 10. And Blue 4 appears to be running them on foot away from the fight. I mean, that's the best call they can make. Hopefully, either the helicopter or a ground Vic will come up and extract them. But look at the area here for the turn-in spots. Blue 4 is really well entrenched. They're at the neutral objective. They have things set up. Op4 has a defensive line set up right here. I'd be willing to bet they don't have any VIPs in here yet. Rather, that PMC group has the embassy accountant with them. But it's going to be very, very hard for Op4 to get an advantage, especially since the PMC group is now firing at the Lingor defense group. These guys are both on the same side. They're different factions, mind you. But they are friendly. So we're seeing some smoke grenades getting popped. But this marksman is trying to pick off Mr. Bad Guy. So we don't want to see a blue on blue incident between Op4 elements right now, especially since they are. The 4th guy looks like he left, but I mean Alfred's dead from the PMC group. Where did he get killed off from? It looks like he might have gotten run over by the car, or the Blue 4 guys got a line on him. I'm gonna quickly check. I am not seeing it. Might have just been an accidental friendly fire. That's why they're firing back. But we are seeing this Blue 4 position with those 50 cals and those magnified optics firing into Op4 as they try to drive up and reinforce. I don't know if anyone died, but 2 magnified 50 cal optics is a very nasty thing to try to get around. But I think everyone's okay. So Blue 4 doing a really good job keeping up the suppressive fire here. But good golly, I still don't see any skulls for Blue 4. Someone did leave, though. That's why there was an AI right there. How the OFCRA system works is if you lag out, an AI takes over your unit, and if you're able to load back in, you then replace that AI, and you're still able to go. So that's why, for example, the helicopter's now showing. That was hidden before, and again, Gulf had a guy that was an AI because he didn't have a triangle over him. There he is. But otherwise, Op4 have taken at least 8 or so KIA. There were 4 in that helicopter. There's the 5th, 6th, 7, 8. And on a 40v40, which, you know, looks more to be like 45 versus 43, 44 versus 37 or so. It's going to be tough for OFCRA to bounce back. They're trying to harass this Blue 4 position right here. They have forced the infantry to pull back from this spot. But otherwise, I still don't think Blue 4's taking any KIA. They're doing a really good job of maintaining and pressing their advantages. Anyway, Lincoln gave a sub to the Ford Motor Company. I feel like there's a historical joke somewhere in that. Otherwise, thank you so much for your second gift sub, my man. I hope you both keep enjoying the operations. Hope you're staying safe among COVID, and I hope you're getting a kick out of this stream. Alessia Joker, thanks for the support from Spain. Always appreciate it. I often forget how influential this channel is, because people from all around the world watch my content. It's super humbling. But I literally just have a setup in my in the fucking attic and just do all this shit, you know? I'm just glad you know, I'm showing off a lot of different aspects of Arma and people are enjoying them. That's all I can ever ask for. But let's look and see where OFCRA is right now. So OFCRA is scattered in 3 different spots right now. Plus they have their commander up here trying to do long-range reconnaissance from up here. But he's also laying low so he's not spotted by that helicopter. I like how the commander is away from the main fighting and he's trying to coordinate everything. Because if he was exposed, since he has lost his air asset, Blue 4 has air superiority here and is definitely trying to hunt for straggling groups of OPFOR. But they will eventually run out of fuel. I don't know. They might have 2 hours worth of fuel in there, but we will see if they try to land themselves later and go on reserve here. But OPFOR, with these 3 groups, they have an assault group to come in. We have this group over here, which is some of Lima squad, which is this group, and then the PMC is actually by the extraction point, and then a northern group cleaning through these sites. But when they took contact from Blue 4, I think it's safe for them to assume that Blue 4 took those VIPs. Meanwhile, Blue 4 is in 2 groups, all centered around their extraction and the neutral objective, and then a 3rd Overwatch site right here. So if OPFOR can attack these groups individually with some slightly larger numbers advantages, I could see them still bouncing back, but it's going to be very difficult with Blue 4's air superiority and those magnified optics on those 50 cals. It's going to be tough. Would a helicopter-on-helicopter fight be considered a dogfight or a cat fight? I would still consider it a dogfight, though. Helicopters can go pretty fast, and I've seen them shoot each other down, both in movies and in Arma 3 Ops, so I would consider it that way. But otherwise, we're not even a 1/4 of the way done with the time. This is supposed to be a 2-hour thing. What OPFOR needs to do is, again, try to rally its forces and take out positions and find a way to deal with that helicopter. I would recommend OPFOR tries to take on this hill position with this force here. They abandon their VIX and instead try to sneak up, keeping this area suppressed with 1 or 2 marksmen, and then have a force come up from the hill. It's going to be a really risky idea, but I don't see how else they could hit it. They could also try thunder running with the VIX. Actually, that would be better, because getting caught out in the open with that Blue 4 helicopter on call is going to be really, really risky. But if you keep one of those armed VIX back here and try to bait the helicopter to fly lower, try to get lucky with that 7.62, that's all you can really get away with. But you really need to eliminate that 50 cal advantage that Blue 4 has. It's a nasty advantage that Blue 4 has, and even so, they have another one over here, giving them those 3 asses. I feel like OPFOR needed to at least have, like, 50 cal Humvees to counter that. So, we got Blue 4 right here firing down at the PMC group, who is pulling defensive down here. But otherwise, they're going to get in buildings and hunker down. The best that Blue 4 helicopter do is harassment and recon. And OPFOR still has the advantage of that darter drone. I don't know if they've deployed it yet, I can tell you the average shelf life of that darter drone is 30 minutes, though, which is only a fourth of the time. Unless he has got drone batteries, but I'm not seeing it on any of these guys' back, so it might have been deployed. But getting reconnaissance on Blue 4's position so OPFOR can assault them would be key in them trying to win this operation right now. But Blue 4, they've set up another ambush spot here, anticipating OPFOR to come in from the north. I don't know where the VIPs are. But another thing I would recommend Blue 4 does is, since they know that OPFOR has lost their helicopter and there's no map border, Blue 4 could just mount up all their VIPs and put them, like, by their spawn location or somewhere simple that Blue 4 can, you know, still get on the ground. But it's going to be difficult. Blue 4's, they have 3 turrets on that helicopter, so they can do a suppressive fire run for quite a while. Again, hoping for a lucky kill or two. So far, still no casualties on Blue 4. I do like how they have set up in all the high buildings in the compound here. Now they're just being patient. So as the neutrality continues, guys, I will say we do have a checkpoint RP op at 8 with Paw Patrol. That's going to be hour 45 minutes. I prepped an interesting choke point for them to defend. And I've got a good chunk of actors coming from TSB to help me with the roleplay scenario. And then at 10 p.m. tonight, I will do my best to make it to the TMTM op. So Mancot's building is the one being under fire, but OPFOR is still hiding within these compounds here. But it's really going to be up to OPFOR to make a move. Blue 4 is all in really good positions. It looks like they're repositioning these other 2 gun cars they have to potentially come around the southern side. One concern, though, is how deep some of these waterways get. Because if they go too deep, you might see some flooding damage done to the vehicles, and they could potentially render them useless. But it only appears to be one flooded route right there. But even so. If Blue 4 just keeps fortifying, they're going to be fine. It's going to be up to OPFOR to actually make a commitment somewhere. And again, I would just take your forces, consolidate them, and attack Blue 4 positions that the ground commander can spot from the elevated area. But we'll have to see how that goes. Hold up, the Merlin is reversing over this position, trying to get a stable firing line here. I think it was using its rear gunner. No, but the ramps turned up. So they're just trying to get a more accurate shot to try to get a headshot on one of those OPFOR PMC members. But I'll be curious to see where Blue 4 redeploys 2 of those gun cars. And if OPFOR is going to make a northern attack or a southern attack here, because they have the manpower to do it. They have the drone to do the recon for them. They just have to pick a side and execute. What else do we have? The YouTube channel is probably going to get 100K by Friday. That's, I guess, exciting. All it took was just making community polls. Makes you think. Trying to think what else. We got some new campaigns in the works tonight. After the TMTM op, I'm going to be doing a dev stream for various mission files. And yeah. Just kind of keeping it casual. I fucking got my... Nah, we'll not talk about that. That's too IRL. Otherwise, helicopter's going to keep harassing the PMCs because they know that one position, just to keep them pinned to
Send in goat team
lower the
6
chances of OPFOR doing a southern-based attack, so Blue 4 can prep
It's his rockin' personality, folks.
the
Totally
northern
what I'm
area.
here for.
But we're having OPFOR making a push with their Humvees here. And they're going to run right into this location. But the question is the 50 cal ready to take them? And the answer is no. Meanwhile, these trucks, I don't think they spawned at that position. Instead, they're getting behind cover. This is giving Blue Force some time to adjust here. Having someone getting on the 50 cal. But it's a little too late. Op4 has gotten into cover here, and they're returning fire. Infidel, thanks for the 27-month resub, my man. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. Always fun to see you in Scandy Recon for FNF. Get a kick out of this OFCRA up. So Op4 is in trouble now. Because they're behind a rock with nowhere to maneuver without getting shot by the gun. And even backing up too far would expose them. So now you're seeing them getting picked off here. Bokagon has gone down. That was a really bad spot for them to dismount. What they should do is pop a smoke and try to drag him in the Vic. Yep, they've immediately stopped. Now you're having Shadow try to come up. He's dragging him back. We do have Timel here trying to get a shot off, but that 50 cal immediately spotting him. So that's an ACOG scope. That gives him the same level of magnification that this guy is getting, for example. So it's a decent amount of magnification. Put it on a fucking 50 cal, though. It's a big fucking rifle with very little to no recoil because of that turret mount. And you can hit shots accurately up to about 2 clicks, which we already saw Blue 4 doing from this hill to frickin' Op4 spawn point. So Op4 needs to be really careful when they try to recon that spot out, because they're fighting a gun that can be very accurate against them, and one shot to the head and you're dead. Because it's a freaking 50 cal round, man. Again, we're having that Huey still harassing that area. And we just passed the 30-minute mark, so still an hour and a half to go, but if Op4 cannot make a move and try to pincer one of these Blue 4 groups to take them out, I don't see this turning around. And yes, there's a 5-minute delay because OFCRA asks for that. A lot of PvP communities, even some special events from FNF have been asking me to do 5-minute delays, so yeah, I'll respect that. But Blue 4, I think, finally had some KIAs. So that was Rick, and you got Snake Doctor down. They both got keyholed from this spot right here. It looks like they went a little lower, and you're having an Op4 marksman line up these shots here. And he's now trying to hit the driver, but the driver's gotten out. And this could be a bounce back that Op4 needs. They've repositioned some of their infantry. A missile of some sort just got fired. I think that was their disposable AT. They're trying to put pressure on this building to make Op4 pull back, but they're not going to be dissuaded. Tamil here has a good angle. The first kill of Op4 here, and he is going to continue. And Blue 4 might need to pull that helicopter back to start suppressing that site. Otherwise, Snake Doctor is going to bleed out here. So otherwise, we do see Blue 4. They've put some units on the coast, but they're actually pulling back, I guess, to help defend the embassy itself. Meanwhile, you're having Op4 setting up. This remaneuvered group has set up a new attack angle to flank some Blue 4 units here. And now we had some nasty enfilading fire being delivered between a marksman and this group. But it is now getting counterattacked by those two Blue 4 gun trucks. And you're seeing both the the GPMG, excuse me, it's a 240 Bravo, essentially, and the 250 cals open up in a nasty barrage. I still see 5 Op4 guys here, but it's definitely made them get their heads down. So these guys are giving support for this Blue 4 group, We might be able to see someone go up and do medical to Snake here. But a lot of guys are still working on themselves. How screwed did this team get? Got one guy in the vehicle. And we got a few guys that are actually away that are moving in. Again, Blue 4 committing more reinforcements to this area. So instead of Op 4 trying to piecemeal off parts of Blue 4, Blue 4 is going to do that instead. We now have 3 groups coming in to flank these aspects here. And Op 4 trying to maneuver forces here, but they're not going to get here in time. Looks like Snake just bled out. No, actually, I don't see his body. Where did Snake go? Oh, he died and went straight to hell. All right, well, I don't know what Snake did to go there, but I don't want to go in on it. So we got Goatland, Nubass, Roid Campers coming in from the northern side on this Op 4 group. This group's about to receive some nasty enfilading fire from the direct north and the southeast here. So Blue 4 can line up a few shots. Got some Op 4 guys exposed right here. Royd, he's on -1 vehicle kills. And now he is delivering some fire on this one Op 4 guy. He goes down. He is dead. Shot in the back. And now we got some GLs getting launched, but he did not have any, he didn't have a GL loaded in there. Always got to check before you engage. Clemen going down, and you got the Merlin now firing, flying over. Now, if these Op 4 guys can hold out for about 2 minutes, that'll give enough time for this Op 4 group to come up and pincer this Blue 4 group, because they are out on an open hill, completely exposed. But I think Mr. Dave's going to be able to get up there and finish things up before things happen. Shadow going down. Blake has turned around and is returning fire. He's got some cover and the marksman rifle. Well, Blue 4 here is out in the open, unfortunately. Looks like Shadow woke back up, but he's going to need some time to bandage. And Blue 4 is crossing now, and we see Blue 4 slowly closing here with a pincer. And we have one of these guys, Hovey, who was on foot, now running back to the rest of his team, because he was a part of this team for whatever reason. Don't know why he was in that aspect. Hopefully he doesn't get shot by his friendlies. I did just hear a gunshot there. Otherwise, Op 4, these two guys are camped in this building. They're doing some medical, but Blue 4 has them pretty much pinned down. And now you're seeing this massive push here. Blake getting shot at. He's a marksman scoped in. That tunnel visioned him, unfortunately. Lots of grenades being thrown around him. And though he's dead by those grenades. Another grenade going down, falling behind these two. Beniot trying to come around. He's going to catch Nubass out of position while he's reloading. Mr. Dave goes down, but Nubass was able to finish putting that box in. Beniot putting the thing in as Nubass pre-fires over, but Beniot manages to get the kill. Great headshot there. And now Blue 4 is being pushed back, but Goatland did a wide flank around, and there goes Beniot. And somehow Goatland didn't get the kill for that, or he was at -1 kills, and now he's at neutral. Okay, his kills aren't registering. Interesting. But that is that Op 4 group sectioned off. And now you're seeing Blue 4 firing far into this Op 4 group coming in. And Blue 4 has already reacquired that target and is engaging. That's not with a magnified optic. Oh, no, that is, that's with an ACO. Okay. An ACOG. So they're delivering long-range fire that's making Op 4 push back, or pull back, excuse me. But Op 4... they're just going to start getting piecemealed here. Mr. Dave is still down over here. This team, I guess they're collecting themselves. Hopefully someone will be able to run down and assist them. 3 KIAs, there's a second one in there. But look at the amount of guys that are remaining on Op 4 here. Got a little under a full stack. Meanwhile, no, they're about even right now in numbers. So Op 4, they did have a significant numbers advantage in the beginning, but now it's pretty even. But with Blue 4 having air superiority and those nasty ACOG 50 cal cars, it's going to be really difficult for OPFOR to turn it around. It's going to come down to the PvP, but when you are fighting 3 groups and you are a single group, very unlikely that you're going to win that fight, especially when we have so many good PvPers in this community. Infidel, I was never a part of TSB getting into FNF, and I'm not going to be a part of them getting into OFCRA. If they want to do it, they want to organize it like Iceberg organized TSB for FNF, by all means, it's their right. But I've got a long story with PvP myself, and it's, again, not something I sponsor. It's something well, for TSB, it's something I sponsor in general, but I don't want the extra management. Otherwise, looks like Blue 4 has found Cool Dave, Mr. Dave here. And he'll get a few purple hearts and become Cool Dave. And they just punched him. Did you hear that comical punch thing right there? They have a melee mod where if you melee someone, it makes that sound effect. So they, yeah, I guess they were giving him a hard pat on the back for getting shot. I don't know. Better than Nubaz getting killed off, but Nubaz did a really good job throwing these guys in a corner for Goatland to come around and take them out. So we still have these 2 OPFOR guys here. I'm not sure if Blue 4 forgot about them or what. We got Seal William down here, possibly picked off by one of the marksmen in here. But both the marksman and the machine gunner are watching the doorway. This is actually a really good combo. You got the marksman now firing up. Nasty shots on Uncle Sam there. And I guess my tax dollar is going to go to healing him up. So these 2 are still being a nuisance. They're still getting some pick-off kills. Everything's going to help for OPFOR at this point. But those gunshots are definitely going to make Blue 4 curious on that position and potentially send things back, but we do have this large group of OPFOR trying to find a new way to get into this area. So that 50 fire, it was onto this position here. They shot out a window, or I think that window was already shot out because that's the one the marksman is using to pick up, but we are hearing some gunshots on these open windows. Marksman tried to poke his head out again. He might want to consider switching windows here to try to get a few free gunshots off before he is suppressed again. But we are watching Blue 4 send some units around, and OPFOR still has a large group in the northern wing. And we're only at the 45-minute mark, give or take. We're actually still less than the 45-minute mark. So there's still a lot of time to work with here. So there's no rush in the maneuvering. That's why OPFOR is taking its time to come down from the northern side in a position that they won't get harassed by the helicopter. But Blue 4 has done a really good job of getting some pickoffs, and I think someone just killed the marksman. He is down. The auto rifleman might try to administer medical, but he is dead. Now, what I'd be curious about is, can he take that marksman scope and put it on the machine gun and become Rambo 2.0? Oh, he's gonna try. There's something about this. When I see it, it's so sad to think about someone trying to medic up a dead body. Like, I just think to all of those war movies that pull on your heartstrings. It's a shame. But with that marksman down and Blue 4 sending troops down to potentially... No, they're sending troops north. Disregard. Alright, so sending units north is going to potentially put them in these 2 OPFOR groups' crosshairs. We're having a lot of smoke getting popped to the eastern side right here. Did Seal bleed out? Because I actually... His body would be in the smoke here. He did bleed out. Unfortunate. Otherwise, we got OPFOR maneuvering the Lima group to potentially assist the PMCs. We got more gunshots. That is the Blue 4 group that was committed to the north is getting shot at by OPFOR in that part of the rainforest hill. Blue 4 popping a shit ton of smoke to try to maneuver. There are no new fresh kills, though, on this group. And you've got some additional shots from Blue 4 up into that area, and you got the helicopter nearby. Might come and assist, but I think it's still just maintaining orbitals in this position. We're getting some really close GL shots on... Honestly, they're actually pretty accurate. They were right on where OFCRA's position was, but they have pulled back. They definitely announced their position to Blue 4, but I don't think they were able to score any kills based off of it. But this is pulling attention away from Mafwak here. Sorry if I butchered your name, buddy. Who is still camping here, waiting for Blue 4 to come and breach his building, because he is none the wiser. But in his shoes, I would expect Blue 4 to come send a group out here to clear this building out, so I would be just as confused as him, and the fact that he's still alive. So we're having some explosions happen over here, potentially this Blue 4 golf group contesting with the PMC group for OFCRA. Meanwhile, I believe Delta is the, no, it's golf, actually. That is the Blue 4 PMC group. And you still have OFCRA ground command all the way to the north. Where's Blue 4 ground command's actually been in the helicopter commanding? We just had another rocket get launched in this building. We're seeing a damage texture on this building now. Another 1 or 2 rockets would collapse it. Or just a shit ton of sustained 50 cal fire. But I wouldn't waste it. I would use those 50 cals as long-range weapons. Especially with that magnified optic, allowing them to be so accurate. So we're seeing the marksman rifle getting grabbed, but how did he see him? So he just spread his fire around, but he's woken back up. That was kind of sus, in my opinion. He fired exactly on him. Like, right where his head was. Constantly, for a good, you know, few bursts, and then he started varying his fire. Like, I'm trying to think, what... There's no way he could have seen it, though. Because he was prone. A little sus. Like, if he was crouched, I would have gotten it, because his gun would be sticking up in the window, but... Sus. Very sus. You know what I mean? Like, again, could be RNG. I always give the benefit of the doubt, but literally on his head. Just right there for a good few bursts. It's interesting. But otherwise, he's turned his fire over here to where other Blue 4 groups are engaging. This is the other half of the OFCRA group. They're not going to be able to maneuver south from this position. If they want to continue moving, they're going to have to flank around, potentially hit that embassy site. But this is a pretty big wall here for OFCRA, and they've got no real way to maneuver around it. Now you got this helicopter landing. It is grabbing the VIPs, that's why. Now, is OFCRA in a position to take advantage of this, though? No way. I'm gonna look into that in a second. One of the best map developers, the guy that made this map, has a very similar name. I doubt it's the same person, but That would be cool, actually. Ah, that dude's a legend. Alright, so now the marksman's gotten up. He's trying to line up a shot on Zicky, who now would have an accurate eye on this guy because he's poking his head up. Yes, well, OFCRA is a French-based community. Yes, the joke has gotten old, though. But looks like Zicky has now turned his gun over and is suppressing the smoke, trying to prevent OpFor's advance from the northern side there. It's a good call, but can the newly appointed marksman get a shot lined up? He starts firing, but the vehicle is now turning and maneuvering away. That smoke, it's definitely denied a push. Looks like someone lagged out here, though, and is an AI. I hope he doesn't get killed off, because that would mean if he joins back in, he's not going to be able to keep playing. But OpFor, they looks like they're pushing north here. Curious to see how they reposition. It looks like OpFor, we got another thing going on right here. The Lima group is about to get run up on by this Blue 4 group, and they have no idea they're here. Because the lead guy is his binos out. This could be a way for OpFor to turn it around. Rigel might hear those footsteps, though. He sees that gun by Luffy. And he misses the headshot and just announced his presence to OpFor here. Now, Blue 4, they're quickly going guns up here. They're pulling back into some cover, but they almost ran right on top of some OpFor here. And OpFor, they put their heads out. They managed to get a free kill on either a marksman or a squad leader. Great call there. Some smoke grenades being popped, and they're going to immediately pull out from that position because they don't know Blue 4's number right there. So great free kill right there. And Blue 4 is going to be extra cautious now. If OpFor can get some free kills like that, that's going to definitely help them out. Because the number game is about even right now. And Blue 4 has to be running low on 50 cal. I think the commander is still staying up here because he knows he's going to have to get a Vic and go pick up the IDAP guys in school that they dropped them off on earlier. Lordy looks like he loaded back in, but because he has the uniform bug, he is going to be easy to be spotted. We have Icebreaker here, trying to fire back at that helicopter, and both him and the helicopter are having similar aiming issues. Meanwhile, it looks like Blue 4 finally sent a few guys up here and eliminated this OpFor guy, or he was picked off by that southeastern group. It is hard to tell. I think another advantage Blue 4 has had is they've been able to maneuver QRF to assist when there is a team-on-team firefight to give them a numbers advantage in these fights. And that's helped them, you know, just pick off groups of OpFor and take them out entirely. Numbers-wise, OpFor has a slight advantage here. I am noting the amount of skulls, though. But the skulls look pretty even, and Blue 4 has the bigger roster. That's also because of the helicopter, though. So, guys, on the ground-wise, it could still go either way. Let's see how things go. Well, okay, back to that incident. There's no way he's stream sniping because there's a 5-minute delay on my end. But I don't know. I just find it interesting when you see stuff like that. I don't point any fingers. I just put it up and I say, hey, you know, this is kind of interesting, but I like to make jokes out of it more than anything. I let you be the judge. Maybe Zicky is just that good. because I have met people in Arma that are literally that good. Anyone remembers Nafs for TSB, for example? Like, he goes crazy on PvP. Otherwise, Block just went up on his own and got picked off by an OPFOR garrison. I don't know what the point of that was. It was part of this team up here, and they're down another man. Alright, helicopters hovering. It looks like they're going to start turning in people at the extraction zone. Or they're just doing recon, but OPFOR doesn't have anything nearby to... Well, actually, no, that's not 100% correct, but... Oh, Camus. Camus, my man. There's no... This is going to be a Neander level shot. For those of you that don't know, Neander is one of the best AT guys I've ever met. Swings. And it went over. What was the range on that shot? That was, it's about a 400-meter shot, so we would have had to max it. We are seeing machine gun fire going in, and that actually made this helicopter go into the damage model. But that helicopter contains a bunch of VIPs right now, so it is quite possible they might have just gotten hit. Alright, so these three getting shot at by this OPFOR garrison here. Bluck, I don't think is going to wake up. He's going to get killed off. OPFOR needs to keep making those free kills. And we also have Bluefor. They have driven a car in, and one of their VIPs is special. Because he has decided he would rather stand in the car, but I don't think he's actually standing. He appears to be, I see. I guess he's just caught in the canvas tent. How they're going to cut him out of there is anyone's guess. But otherwise, OPFOR have divided their forces here, sent half to go recover the Humvees, another half to continue maneuvering on where Bluefor was, as Bluefor is pulling out of this region. I could still see OPFOR winning some of these fights and bouncing back. Because the gun cars have to be running low on ammo by now. That's why you saw Zicky switch the GPMG. So I would doubt Bluefor has that much 50 cal remaining, and that might be able to allow OPFOR to use their PKT Humvees to get some local fire support here. So we still got two out and about. This is one life. When you die, they can spectate, yes. And apparently I missed an SCP Humvee. Darn, I love SCP vehicles. It's a coined term for when the vehicle starts glitching the fuck out and starts doing interesting things. We had a highlight of it from an FNF a few days ago. PHK on his own over here. I don't think he has any VIPs with him. He's just kind of doing some perimeter security. Because he just drove a circle and he's picking up Mr. Cool. That's why. Whale just knows everything and everyone, I swear. Otherwise, we've got a Bluefor group coming around over here. That was the Southern Garrison group right here. It looks like they went on foot. Or they took a transport truck. Either way, nope, here they are. So we got these two cars they took around, and they're trying to now clear this forest area, trying to find this OPFOR group. Maybe if they're quick enough, they'll be able to catch these two Humvees out of position, but I highly doubt it. I honestly don't know where OPFOR's drone is. I think it's a similar situation to the HVIs. I assume they put it up because I don't see it on anyone's back for the PMCs. I just have no idea where it would have went. You know what I mean? I think it was Tackles because he doesn't have a back. No, he does have a backpack. Wait. Where'd the drone go? Okay, who doesn't have a backpack? Let's play that game. They all have backpacks. Okay. Rizbo with an M75. That rocket launcher is a piece of shit, by the way. Like, it literally just fires a grenade. Or it's not an M75, it's an R, I don't know. It's, all you need to know is that's the green for law, and it is a piece of shit. I didn't realize that these PMC guys are also suppressed, so they're kind of a spec op group. But yeah, I don't know who had the drone. Might have been Alfred. Because he died in a nasty boating accident. I don't even know what else to call that. Rocket launcher was a miss, and they're doing their best to try to get a hit here, but this chopper is firing its, oh! That was a great shot by a rocket launcher, but if it was an M70, never mind. That is Blue 4 Ground Command KIA, and that is the helicopter pilot KIA. That rocket had to have knocked control out, or the sustained fire from OPFOR would have killed the pilot there. I didn't see it smoking, though, so I think it was just the pilot got shot. So really risky play right there for Blue 4, and it didn't pay off. And in all honesty, now that Blue 4's air support is down, OPFOR hasn't used a lot of their vehicle support. I think this could still turn around for OPFOR here. Blue 4 hears these Humvees, though. This could be nasty. They don't have any AT ready, but they could get a few quick headshots on some of these gunners. And this one guy in the back. There's the gunfire going. Gunner just took a headshot. Not sure if the gunner woke back up or is a new gunner here. I think Icebreaker just lost both of his assistants here. And they're now fighting an uphill battle. Gunner's dead. That's not good. Grenade thrown, damaging that Humvee. Sixor running down off the side. He's going to be able to get some shots in. Oh yeah, the 5-minute delay is insane, but Sixor is going to come in right behind, probably shoot Iceberg in the back of the head. Icebreaker, geez, Iceberg's a different person. There goes Icebreaker. There goes Spitty. There's a grenade. Goes in the water, though, so it doesn't do that much damage. And Zetho is on his own here, and Sixor is coming to collect. Comes out of the smoke, but runs out of ammo. Switches to a secondary. Zetho is none the wiser, though. And Sixor is able to knock him out, and there's his third kill. Fourth kill. It didn't update on the roster yet. Probably got one of these guys in that barrage, though. But there's Blue 4 taking out another group of OPFOR. Got a good chunk of OPFOR remaining here. 3 guys. Gonzo's down, though. Really, it's just OPFOR's defensive line in the south. But once the northern group of OPFOR gets taken out, that's going to allow Blue 4 to send more units to the south if they realize that they have the numbers advantage now. We got some Blue 4 guys harassing Gulf Team over here. Yeah, Bluck died. It's just these three guys trying to maneuver on this OFCRA position. They have a good defensive line, but we have Alpha for Blue 4 coming up to potentially do some damage here. And you're hearing those suppress shots rain out from the PMC group. So Blue 4 doesn't have any suppressed elements, by the way. It's just this OPFOR team. But I would definitely say overall the biggest advantage was Blue 4 having those scoped 50 cal cars, and they definitely utilized them. I'm going to also be honest, it's still a little too early to call. OPFOR could still bounce back. And you're actually seeing OPFOR, they turn around and they're picking off guys. One of them was just taken out. And now they might try to commandeer these Vics and drive away. One of them smoking, though. Have a lot of smokes being launched, but if they go into the water, as you just noticed, they despawn. So this smoke's only going to buy them so much time as they roll down. Now they're trying to do some return fire as OPFOR is now smoking their advance. But now you got these three OPFOR guys. The fourth bled out, unfortunately. They're going to try to pincer off that Blue 4 group and win a 3v4. Completely possible, but it's going to be difficult. You're going to see casualties on both sides here. But if OPFOR gets lucky and is able to take them out and take that unarmed Humvee and bring it south, you could still see OPFOR turn this around. Meanwhile, Blue 4 managed to breach this building and has scored a few kills here. Still have one OPFOR guy alive. Two OPFOR guys, three OPFOR guys up top were taken out. That's not good. FF, he's made a keyhole here, but he exposed his head and Mr. Dave knocks him out. OPFOR is in the single digits for manpower at this point. They're on 9 dudes. Blue 4, meanwhile, still about 2 dozen, a little less. Most places, if you're talking about the little crosshair reticle that you normally get in Arma 3, most communities disable that. It's only the casual ones that keep it, but you definitely don't see that in PvP. Just for the record. So at this point, OPFOR needs to get like a 2-to-1 ratio on kills to even consider tying here. I could see OPFOR, these three sneaking around, getting these kills, and then moving south, but there's just still a lot of Blue 4 guys here that need to be contended with. You got Sacred that got hit there, and he's being dragged back. But at this point, where does Blue 4 have their VIPs, by the way? Do they at least have a few that are scored in here, or? Because I know they brought in some. Yeah, so they have some of the VIPs here, but does OPFOR have any VIPs in their turn-in location? All things considered, I don't think so. And Blue 4 has control of the embassy, so they get those 5 additional points. So the points are leaning to Blue 4 here, but OPFOR could still turn it around. But again, difficult. Very, very difficult. OPFOR's pulled this defensive group back. They're going to hold in this area. And we're about to see some PvP here. Zicky moving up. He has to have really good fucking eyes, man. Guess he saw a hint of green right there. I mean, he's on 6 kills, so I assume he knows his shit. Pogo and Weeman. Weeman now being suppressed. I guess he was spotted. The contrast in that open window area. Now Pogo's trying to flank him. And Zicky goes down by Pogo. Pogo immediately taking fire from up the hill by Brewer, and he goes down. That 1-to-1 ratio trading is not what you want to see here. Weeman still alive. He is trying to flank around. This isn't looking good for OPFOR in the slightest. Blue 4, though, they're committing a few guys to go south here. But even so, Weeman was just spotted. He gets suppressed by Brewer. He's going to pull back around. He's going to try to find an angle, but I'm going to be honest, Brewer with this mini-me here and an ACOG scope, he is going to have Weeman boxed in pretty hard. So as you can see, that sightline isn't always 100% accurate. But Weeman trying to pull back. He got shot again. He's going to attempt some bandaging. And meanwhile, Blue Fort looks like they've actually pulled back because they're only 3 effective right there, and they still don't know how much OPFOR is down there. So a good call to rally up right there. We do have the Blue Fort PMC side, or I guess I should just call them the base garrison. They're coming back. They still have Sacred unconscious, but they're going to bring them to an infantry squad with a medic, I believe, that is on standby. And they're digging trenches in the embassy area. So if I was OPFOR here, you still have a little under 50 minutes remaining. How do you bounce back from this? 6 guys to the south, 1 to the north. They probably don't have comms with each other. Then again, Max, he is marked as a team lead. He does have a radio, though. I doubt they'd have the range to speak to each other on SRs. It's really just going to be up to the PMC group to turn this around. I mean, they've got suppressed guns. They've got good scopes. Like, all of them have magnified optics. So they're definitely step up, but can they deal with OPFOR here? We're actually seeing a Blue 4 marksman trying to engage Murdy here. What's the head count? We got 3 for Blue 4 there. 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and I'm going to assume they're going to be able to get this guy up because there is a medic on seat, so 25. 7v25. That is a little over a 3-to-1 rate. Oh, wait, no, we still have the OPFOR commander alive, who is running back. He might try to get a Vic. And wait, who are you? I think that's just an AI unit, because all these guys are in the AO. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, because Max is still on his own. So I assume he's going to get a Vic, go grab the 2 IDAP guys he left in this compound, and then move into the AO. But that Spec Op PMC group needs to do work in order to wrestle this out from Blue 4, but I'm not going to officially call it yet because of how decked out these OPFOR guys are that remain, but it's very close to call in Blue 4's favor. So meanwhile, it looks like Blue 4 are pulling these 3 guys back. Max is chilling in a building for now, trying to find some new sight lines. He's going to be a little limited, though, with that ×1 magnification holo sight there. Let's look at his POV. He's trying to find something. Still have what I would bet. Who do we have repositioning here? So we got Brewer repositioning. And we have got Sixor and another guy who have pulled out of this AO and Massacre. Otherwise, we have the remainder of... Is this Alpha? Yep, so Alpha have set up in these buildings. They're waiting for the go orders to move to Op4's resistance area. But this is going to be a tough fight if they push up on their own, because they're actually going to be outnumbered by 1 personnel, and they're fighting dudes that have better scopes and are suppressed. So if Op4 can catch them in a long-range fight, it's going to be really hard to tell where Op4's position is by the gun volume, because it's going to be so quiet. Otherwise, Op4 has a Vic, and he is driving around. I'm surprised he didn't take the northern route to get up there, unless he's going to try for something else. Because he could also get around that way. So yes, there is a zoo stop I'll be doing tonight. It's not TSB though, it's Paw Patrol, but it is Checkpoint RP. That is going to be in 3 hours. And Bloodwing is fine, thank you for asking. Yeah, so this additional Blue 4 group that was called in to assist is overwatching this area. I don't know if they've spotted Weeman yet, but they are looking around. Ooh, this machine gunner might have just spotted that movement. It's hard to tell. But Weeman is not in a good position. He's got multiple guys overwatching him, but he still tries to get a shot off. Machine gunner is now looking. No casualties in this group from that barrage, because Uncle Sam and Snake Doctor died on that other hill. We've been doing some suppressing fire on that hill. He's trying to spray and pray. Didn't get a lucky headshot, though. Looks like Op4 is actually mounted in a Vic. They're going to try a southern approach as Goatland is sent alone to try to do recon on that last area. I will switch over there later. And Weeman is dead. I am willing to say Brewer did it. He's on 2 kills. Yeah, taken out in the open right there. That was definitely Brewer. All right. So that is all of Op4's northern resistance taken out, and you got the last 6 guys in the AO here moving around as this Humvee is coming in. So the commander is not going to go up to that school facility, or whatever you want to call that complex, and pick up those IDAP VIPs. They are just going to be removed from play, as we have the PMC guys doing a massive southern pull around. For what purpose, though, if they can't leave this island? Maybe they're trying to come around this backside to just sneakily go all the way around, but if they're keeping good eyes, they're going to see this vehicle approach no matter where it comes from, just because of the shape of this terrain. Excuse me. And you do have PHK watching that area. Still got Brewer firing at that body to make sure it's down. They're going to have to send a guy or 2 over there to confirm he's killed. But it's going to probably take another 10-20 minutes for Blue 4 to potentially start sending forces to the south instead. So the main difference between, excuse me. God damn it. Throat's getting clogged up. Main difference I would say between FNF and OFCRA is OFCRA's rounds are a little more than double the rounds of FNF. A standard FNF Friday Night Fight round is 50 minutes. So it's a lot of focus on just getting in the AO and slogging through it. But OFCRA rounds are literally 2 hours. So there's a lot more time to maneuver, plan, and assault, and pull back and, you know, actually retreat if you need to and re-attack. Just basically more use of tactics is what I'm trying to get at with that extra amount of time without having to worry too much about the clock. Second thing, OFCRA has a lot more vehicle use. Whereas when you see it in Friday Night Fights, when they use vehicles, they're very carefully chosen. You rarely see anything bigger than an APC. You never see an autocannon. You never see a grenade launcher. If you see a tank, it only has AP rounds. In OFCRA, we've seen BMP2s, BTR... Have we seen... I think we've seen a BTR-80. Yeah, no, we've seen BTR-80 alphas. We've seen autocannons, we've seen grenade launchers, we've seen tow launchers, we've seen everything bearing no attack helicopters or planes. But we have seen air support with miniguns and stuff. So there's usually a lot more vehicle use in OFCRA, and it's a lot more tactically focused than FNF. FNF is a really good put a bunch of communities in and slog it out for 3 rounds and see who wins for the sake of having PvP. OFCRA is a lot more tactics focused. You get 1 shot every week, and you see some really, really crazy plays that are done. I would say those are the biggest differences. So VIP, OPFOR has actually driven down, I think he checked Blue 4 spawn to see if there's anything useful like a spare, like any VIPs or a spare 50 cal Vic to take, but there was not. Meanwhile, the PMCs decided to deploy Murdy, who is, I believe, the marksman. At least he could be. Looks like he's got a 5.56, SSG, but it's got a lawn barrel and he has a magnified optic. So I think they're going to put him up there to do Overwatch and still maintain the extraction area. So they're going to use him to basically watch any Blue 4 groups coming up so this OP4 group can then counter them. But we have about 38 minutes left in this round. So we'll just have to see how things go. A little more time for maneuvering here. Blue 4, I think, are assuming that Weeman is dead. They adjusted north, probably got better eyes on him. We still have defensive lines over here because they don't know if any OP4 stragglers are still alive. So that's going to delay Blue 4 sending forces down to the south. But Blue 4 has control of the embassy, and they're probably, after they finish with the northern stuff, these guys are going to come down and secure the extraction area. And I doubt we're going to see, like, maybe this group will go down and do some offense, but there's no need for Blue 4 to do that because they're going to get the 5 points with holding the embassy, and they have 2 or 3 VIPs in there. So that's going to give them another potentially 3 to 4 points. Meanwhile, OP4 doesn't have anything. But I'm not sure if Blue 4 knows that. Because that's why Blue 4 is still going to probably send these 2 groups down to check that. To see if they have any VIPs down there. But Blue 4 knows of a lot of VIPs. Because they went out and secured more than half of them. If at least half. So they know as long as they hold this embassy position, they'll be fine. Now what would be interesting is if this guy drives over to the Blue 4 HQ extraction area, scouts it out, steals the VIPs, and then brings it into the extraction area for OP4. Because Blue 4 doesn't have any eyes over here. They've got one guy on they've got a few guys on a hill over here, but they're too focused on that area. Actually, nope, I stand corrected. Zixme has turned around. He is reconning out the, he's overwatching, excuse me, the area behind him. So they might see this Op4 Vic come around. But I believe it is now a blue... Yep, so he stole a blue 4 Vic. And now he's going to go on foot instead. Interesting. We got to remember, Blue 4's ground command is dead. He died in that helicopter when it went down over here. That's what I was looking for earlier. Yeah. I bet it's the same guy. I think Whale already said it was, but it's exciting. So I'm going to wonder if he is actually going to push on foot and try to get some of these guys, steal them, and then move them to the Red Fork extraction area before Blue 4 can put units back there to defend that section. But yeah, no, one of the hardest things to do in Arma is map design, because the interface is so daunting. So, mod makers, map developers, scripters, and modelers. Those are 4 groups of people in that are key to Arma's survival and development in the mod community that, in all honesty, I think are underappreciated, that I have the utmost respect for. Because without them, we wouldn't honestly have anything on this map. We wouldn't have the map, we wouldn't have any of that gear. Literally everything that guy is wearing is modded. Unless that's a CSAT Red Beret, which is not. It's the 3CB one. Heck, all these buildings are from Arma 2. They're ported over, so without people to do that, none of this would exist. The only thing that would exist are these trees and maybe those rock models. Oh, the horrible timing here. Blue 4 is going to come over and they're going to see Op 4 right on this position. Dave is probably going to get a shot here. But he holds fire. Nope, I stand corrected. Holy crap. Oh, so Op 4 ground command. That was a great risk to take. Unfortunately, Blue 4 decided at that moment to send their forward element back to form a defensive perimeter on the final objective. So really great effort by Op 4 ground command. And he would have gotten away with it too, but Blue 4 just decided to pull that group back. And something just exploded back here. They blew up a building. Don't know why, but they blew it up. So now Op 4 is going to have no choice but to go on the offense. So they're back up here. They've got a machine gunner that died. That's probably why they pulled back, because they had a KIA, so they deemed that this position was too hazardous to hold because they were getting picked off. Smart call to make. But I would assume Blue 4 guys with radios right now are just coordinating where to go, so they wanted to force the pull back to hold defensive there, because Op 4, you know, the northern group either pulled away or were all killed off, but Blue 4 did the smart thing and just went to hold their objectives here, knowing that as long as they can do that for the next, 32 minutes, give or take, they will win this scenario. But Blue 4 knows that they're up on this hill. Op 4 popping some smokes. They might have just taken a second KIA. Yep, 5 left. So I don't remember if the supremacy bonus is 5 or 2 people. It's on the site though, which is in the mission command. But yeah, if these guys get wiped, it is GG. Blue 4 will get a point majority here. I do like how you have Mancoat here doing his best with his magnified... That is an SU-230 scope. I love that scope. Honestly, my favorite scope in the game. Doing his best to return fire here, dealing with Blue 4 guys which only have holo sights. Yeah, 4 Op 4 guys here. You got 1 guy in the back line that was doing some overwatch and reconnaissance. And now I'm going to be really curious to see if Blue 4 actually tries to push men over to engage that OFCRA group. I just saw Flip get hit, but no, he was just bandaging. This is a good Overwatch position, I'll give him that, but the little bit of enfilading fire we got from the northwest and the northeast. Jeez, those shots are landing really close to right over Manco's head. He just took a shot in the arm right there. Cynics, yes, I do read chat. I gotta wonder, who has the magnified optic here? So it's Goatland here with what appears to be some sort of marksman rifle. It's got a short barrel, though. He was just speaking. He is now trying to hit Flip for Flap as he pulls away. Murdy is now coming up. So the 5 guys are getting together. Flip gets picked off by Goatland. Or that could have also been Cheeseburger back here, who was also firing with the magnified optic, but he doesn't have a kill, so I bet you that was Goatland. Nope, he also doesn't have a kill. Oh, shit, never mind. I thought there was a bit more time there for this operation, but yeah, 25-4. And yeah, so it was 5 people for the supremacy bonus. OFCRA was able to get points because a lot of the units were still alive. Wait a second. I misread it then. Huh. OFCRA won. Because they only had to keep the VIPs alive. They didn't have to actually extract them. Interesting. So, damn. Okay, yeah. That's what they meant by alive on that side. Okay. I thought it was both sides had to extract, but that was totally my fault. Damn. So OFCRA still won by a single point. Nice. That's all I got. Alright, yes, the delay was the counter stream sniping. Anyway, guys, we'll be back at about 8 p.m. EST, so in about 2 hours, 45 minutes. I still have to finish the checkpoint RP design. They always do a second round, though, for fun, but I usually have to skedaddle by then because I gotta prep for the evening stuff. So thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Cheers, and hopefully I'll see you in a bit.